All right, this is part 2 for your work on Tuesday, and I broke down the problems a little bit differently. If you've already done all the even numbers for problems 16 through 30, that's great. But there was a couple of even number problems that I thought you might struggle with, and there was a couple odd numbers that were super easy, and I think you can solve those on your own. So what I did is I put a couple of the even numbers on here. If you already did it, that's okay. Just make sure you did them correctly based on the video. All right, let's go on to problem number 17, a fairly simple one. We've got write the decimal number 12 and 5/100ths, okay? So our whole number 12 is on to the left of the decimal, so I've written it down. Then we've got our decimal, we've got a 0 in the tens place and a 5 in the hundredths place to represent 12 and 5/100ths, okay? So your final answer should be 12.05. All right, number 19, if A equals 15, then what does 2a minus 5 equal? Okay, so I set up our problem. 2a minus 5 equals what? If a equals 15, so we substituted, or I substituted the a for the 15, and I put it in parentheses to signify that it's a multiplication problem. So 2 times 15 minus 5 is what? So 2 times 15 is 30, minus 5 is 25. So your final answer is 25. Number 21, what is the perimeter of the parallelogram? Okay, remember for parallelograms, what changes is when you're looking for the area. The perimeter, the way to find the perimeter is the same, you just add all the sides together. So the two opposite sides are 25 plus 25, which equals 50, and then the other sides are 20 plus 20, which equals 40. We take all four of these measurements, 25 plus 25 plus 20 plus 20, which is 50 plus 40, equals 90 millimeters, okay? And make sure you label the unit of measurement. It's not squared because we're adding. It would be squared if we were multiplying. So the perimeter of the parallelogram on problem 21 is 90 millimeters. Next, number 23. Charles spent 1/10 of his 100 shillings. How many shillings did he still have, okay? So the way I worked it out is I've got 1/10 times 100. 10 goes into 100 10 times, so 1 times 10 is 10. So I see that he spent 10, but they're not asking how many he spent, they're asking how many he had left. So I take what he had, his whole, and I subtract what he spent to see how many he had left. In this case, it's 90. And you don't need to write left, you just need to write 90 because 90 answers the question. He had 90 shillings left. I don't know what you can buy for 90 shillings. Anyway, number 24. Okay, so this is an even number, obviously, and this is one of the ones that we've sometimes struggled with in class, so I wanted to work it out with you here on the board. I know when we take quizzes, this is one of the ones that several of you get wrong because it mixes you up, and rightfully so, it can be confusing. So let's see what it says. The temperature rose from negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit to 19 degrees Fahrenheit. How many degrees did the temperature increase? So one way to look to understand this is to just visualize it as a thermometer here. So I've got 0 degrees here and 19 degrees Fahrenheit and negative 18 degrees. So most of you, what you do is you take 19 minus 18 to get the answer, but that's not the way of going about it. We need to see how many degrees of difference there are between these two, okay? So to find that, we add the 2 degrees together. We've got 19 plus 18 equals 37. So from negative 18 to 19, there's a 37 degree difference, okay? Doesn't matter positive or negative, there's a 37 degree difference between this negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit and positive 19. So your final answer should be 37 degrees. Next, number 26, same thing. Number 27 is a very simple one. If you don't have the list or you don't have the list memorized of shapes, just go back to lesson 66 and it gives the list of all the, geometric solids, okay? So you can find the answer to number 27 there. So let's look at problem number 26. We've got Nathan poured 500 milliliters of pop from a full 2-liter container. How many milliliters of beverage were left in the container? So we break down the measurements. We've got 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. 2 liters obviously equals 2,000 milliliters, okay? 500 milliliters were poured out of a 2,000 milliliter container or 2-liter container. So I subtract it. So I get 2,000 minus 500 is 1,500. I had to borrow from the 2, make that a 10. So 1,500. So there are 1,500 milliliters left in the container in the 2-liter container. All right, on to number 28, another even number. We've got 2 meters plus 100 centimeters, and we need to solve it. We need to write the answer in meters. So 2 meters plus 100 centimeters, we know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So I convert the 100 centimeters to 1 meter, and then I add it. 2 meters plus 1 meter equals 3 meters. Simple as that. Next, we have 2 meters times 4 meters. All right, very important. Our numbers multiply as usual. 2 times 4 is 8, but then our units are also multiplied. Meter times meter is meter squared. So please make sure you have meters squared. If you just have 8 meters, your answer is incorrect. You need to make sure you have meters squared. Okay. Before I go to number 30, let's go ahead and do number 29 right here. We've got 4 plus 4 times 4 minus 4 divided by 4. Remember, if there are no parentheses, the next operation that you need to do is multiplication and division from left to right. So before I add 4 and 4, I need to multiply 4 times 4 and divide 4 by 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 4 goes into 4 ones. So now I can add 4 plus 16 minus 1. If you don't go into the correct order, you'll get the wrong answer. So 4 plus 16 is 20, minus 1 is 19. So your final answer to problem number 29 is 19. And then, same problem. If you guys don't have graph paper at home and you're not able to work this problem out, that's why I went ahead and put it here on the board. And it's a good little review for us to do. So we've got our x-axis going horizontally, our y-axis going vertically here. Now at the center of these two, where these two intersect, we have what's called the origin. The origin is represented, or the vertices of this is 0, 0x, 0y. Now, they gave us 4 vertices to plot onto this graph. Our first one is -4, -4. So, starting from here, if I'm going negative, I'm going this way, towards the negative y. And this would be the negative x, and this would be the positive x. So, numbers this way represent the positive x. Numbers this way represent the negative x. Numbers up represent the positive y. Numbers down represent the negative y. So the first point we're told to plot is -4, -4. So I'm going to go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that represents my negative x. And then I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is my point. -4, -4 is right here. So I've plotted that point. The next point we're told to plot is -4, +4. So again, I'm going to go to the left towards my negative x from the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go up towards my positive y. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the second vertices. So we got 2 points plotted, we have 2 more. The next one we're told to plot is 4, 4. So both of these are positive numbers. So I'm going to go towards my positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go positive again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my third point that I've plotted. Both of these are positive numbers. Next, the final point we need to plot is positive 4x and -4y. So 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the positive, and then -4 towards the negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've plotted our 4 points here. And now the final answer is to get the perimeter of this rectangle. So we can count the squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's one side is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So both of my sides are 8. So I can conclude that all the sides are are 8 units. So to get the perimeter, we add 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, which equals 32 units. So the perimeter of this rectangle, okay, in this case it's a square, in the case of the square, it's 32 units. The perimeter is 32 units, okay? Make sure you get all your work done. I know today you had to do problems 1 through 30. It's a little harder, I understand that, but don't worry, tomorrow, which is Wednesday and Thursday, I believe you guys will be doing problems 1 through 15, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll only be doing 15 problems, okay? And I'll still be doing the odd number of problems with you. All right, guys, thank you.